All right. Won't let me share it.
All right, we ready.
Good morning, worldwide, international, national, local, your municipalities, the city, the state, the country, everybody, everywhere. We global because we online. We can go everywhere, baby. It's 2022. The world is your oyster. Welcome to another episode of the Book of Man, starring none other than myself, Jay Sims, the Lion, your host. And of course, as always, the guy with all the ideas, the plans, and the methods to how we're going to accomplish our daily tasks and goals, as well as our yearly 5-year plan, 10-year plan. He is none other than Doc. How you doing this morning, Doc?
Lion, man, it's always good to be here with you, man. I mean, I'm loving this thing. I'm just thankful to be able to, for you and I to have created this platform for men like ourselves, middle-aged men, married men, men in long-term relationships, to have a place to talk or to agree with things. So happy to be here, man.
Listen, agree, disagree, talk is the main thing. A forum for us to express ourselves and bring something to the table, hopefully teach each other some things, learn some things, and have an opinion on what matters to us. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to bring everybody in. We inclusive. That's the word they use now. We inclusive. We're trying to be equitable. You know, all of those good words they using out here to make everybody feel like they count. So we trying to, you know, we care about y'all out there, but this is a platform for us, by us, or, you know, to steal an old FUBU term. And that's what it's here to do. But we want to recognize. Yeah, that's right. We recognize all the contributors, the guys that tag and share. Thank you. We appreciate y'all. You're watching every week. We love you. Thank you so much. It's been a lot going on in the world. It's a new year. It's almost through the first month of the new year. It'll go by just that fast.
Yeah.
So far, so good. How's the year going for you, Doc?
Oh man, it's been really great. I mean, I've got a chance to refine my goals for this year, and once I did that, man, I found out that I'm like subconsciously doing it. One of my goals was, you know, about my A1C, you know, with my health, and I noticed for like the past maybe month, you know, my diet just kind of changed. You know, I don't really do diets like that, but what I eat and things I do just change. And that's what happened. So thankful, man. And with this platform, like I told you before, I know you and I talked like last year sometime, maybe a year and a half ago, about something like this. And it's here. Myself, this is something that I've been wanting to do for about 3 or 4 years, but I couldn't do it alone. You know, I don't have everything it takes, but when you unite with somebody else, you know, it's like that Voltron robot.
There it is.
We came together and made one.
Listen, I started a few years ago, did my little motivational videos, post motivational things online. And I really, like you, I was looking, well, how does this really work? What am I really trying to do? And my real goal was I wanted to have some kind of impact in my community. And I didn't know how I was going to accomplish that. And I think we own something here with this platform. And I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm going to do everything I can in my power to help grow it. You know, it's the first month of the year. You said you're working on your A1C. Congratulations. I hope that's going the way you want it to go. We need you to be healthy in here.
Yes, sir.
Me myself, I had to take a real swift look at myself. I was out on a work trip, on a business trip, out just having fun, bowling with the guys after one of our events, and I was bowling or whatever, and I ripped my pants.
Oh, Lord.
I ripped my pants while I was bowling because I'm overweight, Doc. So I'm overweight, man. I had to say, you know what? Got to quit playing. Got to quit playing. Got to get right. Ever since that moment, I had liquor sugar. No sugar. I don't, no sweets. And I'm a pastry killer. I'm the pastry monster.
Hey.
No cinnamon rolls, no donuts, none of that. I'm cutting it out.
Well, I know. Well, you know what? No, I'm gonna interject real quick because I know where you're not gonna be going this year. Then
what's that?
To them timeshares, because they be giving out free cookies and muffins and donuts.
I can't do it.
To them
I can't do
timeshare. It. Save your money, bro. Save your money.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna save my money. My lady, she said she want to go on a cruise this year. I say, okay, well, I got to look like somebody.
Yeah,
because I want to take some pictures. You know
I
want to take some pictures and feel good about myself.
Man, we're going to post this in the group. So if you're in the Book of Man group, if you haven't joined yet, please go over there and join. But if you specialize in nutrition, exercise, health, man, hit us up. We want to hear from you. We want you to help us get to where we need to go. Matter of fact, I think I know somebody that do that. I'm going to try to, if he in the group, I'm going to hit him up. But if you are in the group and do that, man, let us know. Because Lion can't keep buying pants.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I don't want to do it. I want to wear the ones I got.
Okay.
You know? I just bought them not too long ago. Now I outgrew them. because I'm playing. I'm sitting around here bull jiving. Need to get back in the gym. I know how to do this. I've done it before. I've been successful, and I got myself distracted and let little small stuff stress me out. I'm a stress eater, Doc. I realized that about myself. It threw me all the way off my track. Now I got to get back on it and get back into shape and get back to the right size like I'm supposed to be, so I can feel good and feel comfortable. And let's not talk about the effect that extra weight have on so many other facets of your life.
Yeah.
You know,
know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, from your work life to your personal life to your sex life. Let's not forget about all of that. All of it's affected by that extra weight. So, you know, let's do what we got to do out here.
You know, real quick, I know before we get started, man, I'm going to say something that I brought up in the previous show. And I called it out. I knew this. Most of us that make these New Year's resolutions, goals, or whatever you call them, by February, 40% of y'all, 4 out of 10 of y'all going to stop doing it. But here's the thing that makes it work. Now, it's momentum. I have this whole thing with momentum. Momentum is a physics term, mass times velocity. So let's apply this to what you're doing. Mass, how much of the helpful thing that you do. You talked about going to the gym. Velocity is how often you do it. So mass times velocity equals momentum. So how can you get going? Well, either you can increase the mass or do more things that's going to lead you toward your goal, or increase the velocity, which is do that thing more often.
Correct.
So if you go to the gym and you run around the track, your momentum picks up. You start doing it. Now, if you go to the gym, run around track, and you go to the gym 4 times a week, you get in shape fast. Momentum picks up. So you adjust those things to get that momentum going. Now, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Right.
And that's what we got to do.
So look, we all know the formula for losing weight. Eat less, burn more. It's a simple formula. It's a simple formula. Very, very hard to do for a lot of us. We let a lot of things get in the way of life and whatnot, not realizing that your health is probably the number one thing that's going to make whatever other goals and things you got going on in life go the way it's supposed to, go correctly. So
for sure.
We got to address it. But that is the end of January. We're getting to that February point where a lot of you guys are going to fall off. Let's buckle back down. I know you had a bad week. I know you ran into a bump in the road. I know your lady said some nonsense to you. I know your job tripping. I know your kid done got in trouble at school, but now he done been in back for 3 weeks, and now he done finally got in trouble. Whatever. Do not let that get you off your goal of self-improving, improving yourself, because that's going to be better for everybody we just mentioned. That's going to be better. You're going to perform better at work. You're going to be able to have a better relationship with your lady. You're going to have a better relationship with your kids when you start feeling better about yourself. So, gentlemen, I know you had a rough day, a rough week somewhere ever since the first of the year. Now, don't let up. Let's keep going. February right around the corner. Valentine's around the corner. I know you got to spend all that money for Valentine's. You got to go to dinner. You got to buy presents, all that. I know.
Why you say?
I know.
Oh, man. All right, fellas, it's time to start. So go ahead and get the Valentine's Day. Just go by it now.
Go ahead and get it. We're going to try to bring some help on for y'all next week. We got a couple of gentlemen next week that might have some pointers to help y'all get through this Valentine's thing. If they'll join us, we need some help, Mr. Larry. We need some help, person. Let these men know how they need to handle these ladies for the Valentine's Day next week. Get in touch with us so you can come on the platform and talk to these men about how to take care of their lady. Mr. Larry and Percy, where you at? Shout out.
Y'all tagged in the post, so come on down.
Come on down next week and let these men know how to handle these women to show them a good time on Valentine's Day, because there's a lot of fellas out here struggling with don't have their game right.
Okay.
But anyway, we know that's coming up. Stay on your grind, fellas. Stay on it. Stay on your whatever your goals you set for this year. Personal, financial, physical, whatever way they are, stay on all of them. I hope you set a goal for each realm of your life.
For sure.
Anyway, go ahead, Doc.
All right, man. So before we get started, man, fellas, if y'all out there watching and you watching during the live stream, the link to join the discussion is in the description and in the comments. So all you have to do is, well, first you click on the first link at the bottom to give StreamYard permission to use your account so you can have your name up there. After that, you click on the link, you'll come into the green room, I'll let you in, and you can jump on and talk with us. You don't have to have your camera on. You can turn it off and just have your voice. It's up to you. But this is something y'all want to be in on, because I know a lot of y'all got some good input on what we're about to talk about today.
That's right. Please join us. You can use your cell phone, laptop, tablet, whatever device you have connected to the Wi-Fi with a camera on it, you can use, and you can get in here and we can all talk and have a good time. So
yeah, let's go.
What we bringing to what we talking about today, Doc? What we got for them?
All right, I'm gonna share this screen. And what it was something that I saw this morning, and a lot of our brothers in the group saw it and they responded. They had a lot of good things to say about it.
Right.
And let's check this out. I'm gonna add this to the screen right here. Maybe make it big so we can see it pretty good. All right. Let's see if I can make that a little bigger here. That's too big. All right. Look at what it says. And we all remember this. We remember this because millions of people clowning these gentlemen because of the emotional moments they had. So look at that first one, when Tyrese had a mental breakdown online in regards to not seeing his daughter in 2 years.
Yep.
People laughed at him and he became a meme. Look below that. When Kanye West had a mental breakdown on TV, people called him crazy. And he too became a meme. And the last one, which if you read the Will Smith book or listened to it, you would know about all of this.
Right.
Which I can't wait to do the book study on that one.
Oh man. It's deep.
The world watched Will Smith listen to his wife tell him on live that she had an affair. And he had to hold his frame together the whole time. And he became a meme.
Yep.
But yet, folks wonder why men don't open up about their mental health. And I'm going to add, and their emotions.
Yep. Well,
what's your thoughts on that?
Oh man, a lot of different stuff. I have to admit, the first time I saw the Tyrese one, I thought it was a joke. I personally didn't take it serious. And I think that's a result of we have been raised in a society that doesn't take men's emotions and feelings all that serious. And I think mostly because we've never stopped to deal with them. You know, it's never been a requirement. The requirement of men have always been dredge through it and keep going and move on. No matter what, you got to get it done.
Yeah.
So it's never been accepted in society to address the mental health and the emotions of men. Like it's not a subject I don't think we even have the framework to talk about really, because it's never been a part of popular culture.
Yeah.
Only time we ever hear about, a man might have had some mental health issues now is when he's breaking down. I was a wrestling fan when I grew up. One of the guys that I was a huge fan of was Chris Benoit.
Right.
He murdered himself and his whole family. And it was a big deal by that point, but nobody's addressing this stuff when guys are alive and families are still alive. Somebody knew something wasn't right.
Well, and in actuality, man, there's two parts to that though. But look, when men break down, we are vilified.
Yes.
We automatically become the villain.
Yeah.
And then you say somebody should have known about it. But on the other end, because these things happen, we cover it up. Right. And we don't show it. You know, make me think about something that happened in my house a couple of days ago. Well, I think last week. I think somebody screamed out something like that. And my kids came out and my wife came out and they were like, "What's wrong?" You know, nothing was wrong. They just were playing around. But somehow it got on the issue of caring. And my son was like, "It's all right. You know, Dad don't care." You know, he just kind of cavalierly said it, that I didn't care. And what happened, I came to this realization and I told them, I said, I don't have the capacity to be in hysterics. I don't have the capacity to panic.
Right.
Because when things happen and the disasters happen, somebody got to have a clear head. Somebody got to be able to navigate us out of a situation.
Right.
If a natural disaster happened right now and everybody in the bathroom inside the tub and a tornado hit the house, I got to be able to think clearly to get us to safety. Now, I'm not saying that my wife can't do that, because she can. But I'm not helping if I'm in hysterics.
Right.
So, and then that was me. I do that on purpose. So the same thing happened with these men when they go through these emotional things. I mean, look at this thing. He hadn't seen his kids in 2 years.
Now, mind you, paying the child support. Paying the child support for the child, doing what the court's asking them to do or whatever, still can't see his child.
You know, it's like we don't, as men, it's like the world believes, you know, I'm going to go back to this thing. We are good for nothing but working.
Yeah.
We are good for nothing but working because we don't have feelings. We don't have attachments to our children. We don't have attachments to our kids. And that was it. 2 years. Oh, yeah, 2 years ain't nothing. He don't need to be crying like this. That's what people to say.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that is how it is, how men are viewed throughout the world, or do you think that's more specific to the Black community? Because I'll give you, well, the reason I asked that, because you just told the story. And you said you need to be capable and keep your head. But the first thing you did was, I want to make it clear, I'm not saying my wife can't do it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Why did you? I don't personally feel like you needed to have a caveat. Like I don't think outside of the Black community, a man would have had to have the caveat to say, I don't think my wife can do it. I think that's something only the Black man's gonna be like, oh, I just want to make sure I want to just say my wife can't. Like,
all right. So you went down that road, man. So we talked earlier. So let's go ahead and go down.
In that particular instance, I just feel like in our community, we feel like in everything we do, we have to announce that. Oh, we still think women could do it too.
Yeah.
You know what? In that situation, no, you need to do that. You the man. That's your family. You should take the lead. You don't have to announce whether she can or not. She should be able to be a woman and look at you as her husband and expect you to direct them to safety.
Now, well, let's go ahead and talk about that, because that's a subject I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and the subconscious things that we do. I think that what we've seen in the media and in society, we have created a defense for ourselves, so we don't become victims. So let's talk about this word, bash. You hear this a lot,
right?
What is it?
To talk negatively about a person and or a group.
Right. To talk negatively about a person or a group. But unfortunately, the way society is now, everything that a man says is bashing. Everything. You could be stating a fact.
Yes.
And it's bashing. You know, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Everybody knows I'm an educator. And in the mornings, I greet the students outside of the school. And it's this grandma, right? This grandma and her daughter drop off the kids. They got this little Kia Soul, little small SUV. Kids sit in the back. Man, that grandma be cussing them kids out every day. And they get out with bad attitudes because they're getting cussed out from the house to the school every morning. But you can't say nothing about the grandma that's cussing out the kids, though.
Nope.
Because that's bashing.
That's bashing.
So I'll say, when I said that was to protect myself. Honestly, it was. It was. I know what my wife capable of. Right. I know how she would handle the situation. I know how it would go. But I guess for the other people that's watching this, because, and this is going to tie into this mental health thing, that women and our own men would go out to destroy you because you said or did a certain thing, the same way they did Tyrese, the same way they did Kanye, the same way they did Will, and the same way they did this other gentleman we're going to talk about a little later.
Yeah. We as men do a horrible job of supporting one another. I know we as men feel our women don't support us at least not the way we would like in large numbers.
Yeah.
And I will often hear women say things along the lines of, well, if y'all would just open up. But then I also often hear my brother say, the time I did open up, it got thrown back in my face.
No, this happened.
Right. That's what happened. You crazy, you weak, you get made a meme out of, whether it be on social media or in your personal life. You basically become a meme or something to be laughed at because you expressed emotion. And it's a rough spot for a lot of men find themselves in. With I'm dealing with something, I don't know who to talk to. I'm dealing with something, I don't know what's a safe space.
And then you can't even talk to your own people that's like you, men that's like you in most cases,
because we're all afraid of looking weak in front of one another. That's the fear for most men. Is to look weak in front of other men. There's a line, I believe the movie's called Act of Valor. It opens and he says, the worst thing about getting old is other men cease to see you as dangerous. Which is basically saying the worst part about getting old, becoming an old man, is other men no longer fear you. Other men see you as weak.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive issue in the male community. And why we don't support each other the way we should is because the minute there's a crack in the armor, enough, whether it be all men or some men or a quarter of men, enough men will make you feel lesser.
Yeah. And that happens frequently. I think also it's not about not showing your emotions, but showing them properly.
Good
and
point.
We have to be in control of ourselves. Now, I'm not going to say that these gentlemen were not in control, because I'm gonna tell you, Will Smith, what he did doing that's some power.
Oh yeah,
that's some power. How
Great
can you listen to your wife tell you that she cheated on you, had an affair, and then turn around and make it look like it's your fault?
Well, I mean, that's classic. We've all seen and been a part of a situation where somebody tries to make something they did your fault. They only did it because you did this, because you did that. Had you not done that, I wouldn't have. No, you did it because you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
You did it because you wanted to do it. Period. We cheat because we want to cheat. Whatever you did, you didn't show up, or you did show up because you didn't have the capacity or you didn't care enough to do so. So let's throw that out. You did it because whatever reason on your end you couldn't do what you're supposed to do. And listen, I don't know the terms of their relationship. I don't believe they ever had a monogamous marriage.
You read the book, so you know what happened.
Yeah. I know they didn't have monogamous marriage. I read the book. But
he wanted it, she didn't want it.
Right.
Now, can I say, that he kind of caused that on himself? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think what was bad about this particular incident was he was in their house.
Yeah.
And he was their son's friend. But I don't want to talk about. That's just a whole. We can talk about that when we do the book.
Yeah, that's true. But still, people laughed at him though. Because he did that.
Yeah, they laughed at him, and they made it, and people also agreed with what she did.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. If she wasn't getting what she needed from her husband, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. But when you put that shoe on the other foot, we horrible.
Exactly. Hypocrisy.
Right. It's hypocrisy. I mean, men are held to a different standard than women. And I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. You're going to hold me to a different standard? No problem. As long as you let me know what it is.
Well, let's talk about this. And I can't remember the exact case, but this kind of aligns with this topic. about mental breakdowns and why we don't seek help or don't even tell people about it. Um, it was this gentleman, older gentleman. I can't remember where it was. I had to look up the case, but here's the quick specifics. He was being attacked by his wife.
Mm-hmm.
She had attacked him previously throughout the years. He called the police to come and help. He's on 911 saying, please come help me. She has a knife to my throat. She had cut him a bunch of times, did all this stuff. So let me tell you what happened when the police got there. The police roll up on the scene, jump out of the cars, run into the house with guns drawn because someone said that there was a knife in the accident. And the police proceed to open fire. But guess who they shot?
They shot him.
The man who called for 911. He was bleeding, had the actual cuts on him. And he was the one that got shot because he was the threat, even though she was on top of him with a knife. Then they took her to the hospital. She was not arrested. So this is why I think a lot of men don't say anything, because it makes the situation worse. It makes it worse.
That's a good point. If you have a negative experience with expressing yourself, I do believe it stays with you. You will from that point on be very reluctant in doing so. And if the first time you expressed yourself was to someone you love, and it wasn't taken seriously or was taken as a joke, or you were told toughen up or whatever, it may make you very hesitant to talk about it. And I've probably done it. People have probably come to me with pain, and then even my own son. My son will come to me, and I tell my son, "Hey man, it's a raw deal. That's not a good situation, but that's the deal you got.
Yeah,
let's figure out how to deal with it." And I tell men that.
But look at the difference. There's a difference. Because I do the same thing as you. But you know what we do? We provide solutions. Okay, this is how you need to do it. But society out there, some of our women, some of our own brothers, just tell you to man up.
Right.
I can't stand that term. I can't stand it. I never in my life say it because I can't stand it, because it creates it creates an incomplete person.
Well, let's ask you this. Let me ask you this, Doc. Define man up as you see
it. When I hear that, I hear ignore what's going on inside. Ignore it. Stuff it down. And it also, to me, it implies a negative connotation, and this is how. When a lot of people seek to devalue men, here are the things that they say. First, they're going to call you a boy.
Yep.
They're going to call you gay.
Yep.
They're going to call you, all these negative things. That's what they call you. So when I hear man up, that's telling me that, one, you are not a man at that point, that you need to become one. But you telling me that I'm not a man because I have feelings? Or I'm not a man because, I haven't seen my kids in 2 years and I cried about it? Or my wife's cheating on me and I'm trying not to show this emotion, but I'm not a man? That's why I don't use it. I'll never say it.
Okay. So I can accept that definition of man up. And I think there is a time and a place for man up, but it's not when, like, for example, if you're playing a sport and you having a bad game, man up. It's every game is not going to be a good game. You're not going to win all the time. You got to learn how to deal with your losses. You got to learn how to you got to take the wins with the losses. You gotta learn how to, when you have a bad day, how to say, okay, I messed up. Let me look at what I did wrong and fix it. To me, that's the part of manning up. But in the instance you're talking about, when you're talking about a man is expressing himself, maybe he's crying or just wanting to talk or whatever, and he's dealing with something that's hurting him emotionally like that. Yeah, that's a bad, to me, that's not the time to say, man, that's the time to say, okay, what you got going on is rough.
Yeah.
That's rough now. I'm not just counting how rough it is.
Yeah.
All right, you done let out your you let out your little emotions. Okay, cool. You let out your emotions, you cried or whatever it is you need to do to get. I'm here as another man to say, okay, how do we work through this? Because
exactly.
I'm all for, I understand some of us need to vent. But I'm also the type of man that's like, we can't stay in that.
No, you can't at all.
We can't stay in the, and I think some people look at man up as, all right, enough of that venting, enough of that crying, enough of that emotional outburst. Let's get to the solution.
But hold on now. So when you're saying enough of the emotional outburst, emotional thing, but you know what most people see that the time that people have for the emotional outburst is non-existent. Right. It is non-existent. As a man, we get about 3 seconds.
That's it.
Less than that.
Right.
Now I'm going to say,
and
I think we're on the same path with this. Get nothing. But what happens is this though. And this is an example, and I wish I'd have pulled this video. And well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna say this first and say that. And what I like about what you do and how you describe it, I always tell people to use more words. Use more words. A lot of people don't like to do that, but you use more words because you might say man up, but then you follow it up with other stuff.
Yeah, you have to define.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
We do not define things enough. We'll tell somebody to do something and won't ever give them a blueprint on how to do it.
How to do it. You know why? Because it is assumed that we know everything.
Right. Yep.
We don't. We still figuring this stuff out. We still figuring it out.
A lot of stuff we just figured out. There's a lot of things that just really clicked for me in the last few years that I wish I had known. And this is coming from somebody who had a father figure. You too. You had a father figure. You had your father. And it's coming from somebody who had it. And it's still a lot of stuff that I missed. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. And I had to learn by doing.
Yeah.
So, or just wisdom and experience, which is why, living is so important, because you just gain a level of wisdom that helps you move in a way you couldn't have before. But when we get on the subject of mental health, I'm gonna ask the doc.
Okay.
When do you think it is a good time or age as a parent to start really focusing on your children's mental health?
Good question. As soon as you can.
Okay.
But I think we don't have an understanding of how to do it.
Okay.
When you hear mental health, a lot of people believe that we should take them to therapists, psychologists, and us in Black community usually shy away from stuff like that.
That's right.
And it's nothing wrong with that. That's nothing but simply having them talk to somebody that they trust. And I think it's good practice for them to learn how to verbalize their emotions. They have to be able to verbalize it. You got to be able to say it. So, like, for instance, since my kids was little, I always ask them, what do you think about this? Why do you think that? That's even if it's something that they don't agree with. My son and my wife had a little tete-a-tete a couple weeks ago. And his feelings was hurt and her feelings was hurt. They didn't understand one another. So I talked to them separately. And when I talked to him, I asked him, well, how do you feel about it? And let him talk. Because most people just want to know that you're listening. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. You can help your kids with that. Just ask them, what do you think? Don't tell them they're wrong. That's a, oh Lord, I'm about to get on something else. Oh, sweet Jesus.
And we've all done it.
Mhm.
We've
You know,
all
I'm
done
gonna
it.
tell you this, man, and this ties directly to mental health too. Months ago, there was a Facebook post by a friend that I have that's a woman, and it was during prom season.
Mm-hmm.
Her nephew attended a private school somewhere else in the state, and she was upset because the black boys that went to this school had dates that were white.
Mm.
And instead of asking them why they chose that, they proceeded to tell them that they were wrong for choosing that.
Mm. Well, you
You,
said this is a private school.
yeah. Mhm.
Well, chances are the majority of the females in the school are white.
Oh no, they said it's black girls that go to the school. It's black girls that go to the school.
Again, the
That's what they said.
majority of the
Mhm.
females in the school are probably white.
Mhm.
In my experience, most of the time when you deal with private schools, a large percentage of the black boys that are there, especially high school age, are there on scholarship and they're there for
Yep.
sports. Let's be honest with
Uh-huh.
ourselves. The black
Yeah.
girls are there for similar reasons, oftentimes scholarship, but that number is generally largely skewed more black
Mm.
males than black females at a
Well,
lot of these bigger, more prestigious private schools. So
so
if they wanted to take a date, 9 times out,
mm,
they probably had a very low percentage chance of taking a black girl because there wasn't that many.
well, but what I want to go back to though is the part that I said earlier, especially concerning mental health. Telling the person who is in crisis that they are wrong because they feel a certain way.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
to listen.
Yeah. But they, you're right. For them to just say flat out that the kids were wrong just because they went to the prom with some white girls is kind of outrageous. The definitely should have been the question should have been why? Because it could have been something as simple as wasn't that many black girls to ask. Could have been that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been something as simple as that's who likes me. Because
Yeah.
when you in high school, you date who likes you.
Okay. Or who show it in a certain way.
Right. That's it. These are teenage boys. They're not that complicated.
Well,
That's who said yes. That's why I went with the white girl because she said yes.
That's true. That is true, man. But let's swing it around. Check this out, though. We're telling people how they should react and should feel how it ties to mental health.
Right.
People told Tyrese, you shouldn't have made that video of you crying. People told Kanye, well, you should have broke down at a different time. They told Will Smith, you shouldn't have never went on the show.
Right.
But it does not change the fact that this stuff is inside. How can these men express themselves? What is the right thing to do?
Well, I don't know if it's ever a right time for a black man to be emotionally vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
First off, nobody ever wants to see it.
No.
Because that breaks almost everyone's image of us. The image of the black man is always the tough guy, the strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute they see any of us emotional or crying, they people really just don't know how to. It's almost like, oh, they do that. I don't even know they did that. I know they made a model a black man that cries or is vulnerable or is weak. They don't even think black people in general. They don't even think we feel pain the same.
No medical professionals
right
say that.
Right. So we don't need to get into that today. But I think
we'll be on here for 4 hours.
Right.
Have a 6-hour stream.
Take Colin Kaepernick. What did they say? Oh, I understand why he has an issue with the injustice in America, but that's not the right time and place. It's never a right time and place for a black man to express himself.
No.
Whether it be emotionally, politically, whatever the platform is, if it's against the standard way a black man is being seen, they don't mind if we express joy. They don't mind if we dance when we make a touchdown. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They cool with that. But anytime we express emotions or concern,
Mm-hmm.
it's always questioning. It's always, oh, this ain't the time.
So let me ask you this then. Since we are human, like we're really human, how can we get around this? Like, how can we express this stuff? How can we get this monkey off our back? What can we do?
Well, as with most things in our community, it starts with us. We first have to be open and saying, hey, brother, it's okay. I know you're going through something. And what's funny is we all know he is going through something because we all are going through something.
Yeah.
But we still all act like we ain't going through anything. So I think that's the very first thing. I think platforms like this and some others I've seen where, hey, brother, it's okay to say you have an issue with this. It's okay to say this is hurting you right now. It's okay to say you can't handle it right now. The video we aired once here where a young man was talking about his struggles that he couldn't take care of his family because of his illness.
Yes.
One of the hardest things I've ever had to watch.
Yeah, that hurt. That one hurt.
Because I think because every man has been there and feeling like he's falling short in that responsibility of taking care of his family.
Yeah.
Which for men who want to take care of their family hurts more than anything.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's healthy or not, we are raised to do that.
Right.
We are brought up to be protector, provider, and do that. So, and when you can't, and when you're fighting a battle that you can't win, and I always say this, that we as men can fight physical battles easily. We can go out if we need money and somebody got to go to work. We're going to go and work. We'll work 18 hours a day for 7 days a week to get it. But what about the battle that these people wage inside? We can't. We got to have a new way. We need new language, new vernacular for this.
And I think, I think what we're doing and is a positive thing because I don't know a lot of places that's around telling men, hey man, I know you're going through something. But we here to protect you. We here to help you. For example, this is a safe space. Nobody that comes on this platform is ever going to get, their feelings are never going to get disregarded.
No, never diminish.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to agree with anyone all the time. Matter of fact, it's likely I won't agree with you.
Okay.
You and I don't agree on everything. We have some opposing views on some serious issues.
That's true. That's true.
Doesn't mean I don't respect your points of view. That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah, respect. Go ahead.
Respect is the word. The black men in general's emotions and feelings don't get the respect they deserve.
Okay. Because I think one of the main drivers of us is respect.
Right.
And honestly, on the religious side of things, when the Bible talk about roles of a husband, it's a long list. It's a whole bunch of stuff we're supposed to do.
Right.
But when they talk about roles of the wife, you know what it say?
What?
Respect your husband. That's it. That's it. But what's sad is in this case with the mental health, we don't even respect one another.
Nope.
But and I tell you what's even more sad about it. We talk about the golden rule, right? Treat others how we want to be treated. And I think it's so pervasive, this non-respect thing for one another, that we don't even respect ourselves, and we don't believe that we should be treated a certain way when it comes to mental health. I think that's why a lot of men do it.
Right.
Noble men do this, and we have to break that.
So it's definitely it's definitely a gap because you have a son and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
If your daughter comes to you crying or upset,
Mm-hmm.
and your son comes to you crying or upset, do you handle both of those differently?
Well, for me, no. But because I'll tell them the same thing. That it's okay to do it in here. And that you can cry and you can be upset, but it can't last a long, long, long time.
Okay.
But what I always tell kids, I mean, even the ones that I teach, I tell them it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to upset. It's okay to cry. But I do tell them this: don't let people see you doing it. So if you got to step outside the door, you got to go in the bathroom and do it. Don't let people in the world see you do it. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But I know when people see you crying, they see you as weak and they try to take advantage of you. Or the same way that happens in schools, if they ever see you crying, they're going to take that weakness and exploit it.
Yes.
And adults and kids are the same.
Yep.
Anybody can debate me on that. I work with both. They're the same. So I tell them, don't let everybody see that.
So this takes us back to what we said earlier. When is the right time and place? Because we can't do it publicly. So then you take Tyrese and Kanye and all that. They were in public forums.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So do you think most men and most people weren't like making fun of them for having emotions? It was more about why are you out here publicly showing your ass?
Yeah. Yeah. And why does that take precedence over the mental health? Why? Man, you hitting it on the head. You hitting it right on the head, man. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't know if it is a solution. Oh yes, I do know. Okay. You got to make your own time. You have to become the master of your life.
Okay.
You control you.
Right.
You can't control everybody else. So I would say this. Same thing I tell the kids, you make time and space to do it. So like I said, I told the kids, if you had to go to the bathroom, step out in the hall, you do it then. So I think as men, we have to make time and place to do it. And in terms of the public forums, I'm not going to tell them what to do. That's their choice.
Right.
And they know what could come out of it. But also, they needed people to see it and listen.
A cry for help.
It was. It was.
Which makes sense. You don't feel like there's anybody in your personal life you can go to. Maybe you feel like this only avenue I have. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to ask somebody directly for help.
Which all right. How do you do that? How do we do that?
Well, ask somebody for help.
In your opinion. Yep. How do the men that's watching this show, the men that's in our group, or even the women who are with these men know how to ask for help?
To be honest with you, as a person who I hate asking for help.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
On whatever it's about, whether it's about emotional, finance, whatever. I hate asking for help. I feel like I hate it so much. Like I rather to a point. Sometimes I almost rather fail
than ask for help.
Mm-hmm. And I have to look at myself sometimes and say, hey man, are you really gonna sit here and let this or that fall apart because you don't want to ask for help? You're gonna be that stubborn, especially when there's somebody in my situation who I got people I can ask for help.
Yeah.
I got people that's waiting for the phone call. I saw you messing up, man. I was wondering if you was gonna ask. you know. So I got but it's something, you know. You're told you a man, you should be able to handle it, you should take care of it, whatever the case might be.
Mm.
It makes it very hard for people to ask for help. I've seen on social media people ask, "What's the hardest thing to do?" And a lot of times people say, "Ask for help."
Ask for
We've
help.
all been told you're supposed to be strong. You're
Yeah.
supposed to take care of it. You know. Uh,
You know
so
what? I'll say that this requires a reprogramming of our mind, a reprogramming of the subconsciousness. Subconsciousness, it's a thing, and it governs our non thought about actions. So our reluctance to ask for help, our subconscious tell us, you don't do that. I got it.
mm-hmm.
So we have to reprogram ourselves by intentionally doing something different.
Right.
I reprogrammed myself because I used to think the same way. Um, and it was a point years ago that I felt like I hit the wall, man. I mean, the world changed. I would start realizing how messed up the world was. And I
Mm-hmm.
followed the rules for everything. And nothing was working. Nothing. And it laid me low. Man, I used to
Yeah.
feel like I was carrying a ton of bricks on my back every day.
Mm.
And I was trying to pull myself out and I couldn't until, one day, and like I said, I'm a religious person, man. So, I was doing praying and all of that stuff, man. And, the voice told me, go talk to him. And I did. It was a man I was working with. And I went and talked to him. I said, hey, man, you know what? This was happening, man. This is how I feel. And my life changed from that day. When I said, man, this is how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It started with that and it ended up right here because of that. So we have to intentionally do something different. Be intentional in your life. Stop letting stuff just happen to you. Be intentional and do something. So that's my answer to it, man.
Okay. So all right. So we talked about a few things. I feel
Mm,
like one is we need to respect each other's emotions
yeah,
because we don't feel like men's emotions get enough respect.
that's right. I like the
And
way
that's
you said that.
as a group, we got to respect each other's emotions. On an
Mm,
individual basis, we have to be intentional about seeking help when we know we need it.
mm-hmm.
Don't just hope. I think that's kind of why the people posting stuff on social media. They hoping somebody offers help
Yeah,
rather than
you're right. You're
yeah.
right.
Because it's a lot easier for somebody to say, "Hey man, you need a hand," and you say, "Yes, I do," than to say, "Hey bro, you standing there? Can you give me a hand?" So
Mm-hmm.
we have to be intentional as men about actually going out and seeking out the help. Don't go ask for the help. If you don't talk about it, nobody knows what you're going through.
That's right.
You know, nobody letting a millionaire borrow money.
You're right.
You know,
You're
because
right.
if I think you got $1 million, I don't think you need my money.
That's right.
You know, so if I think you straight, if I feel like you good, if all you ever tell me is you good and you great, you know.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Um, I want to show this thing here, man.
Okay.
Let me throw it up on the screen. Hold on. All right. So, if you don't know who that is, that's Michael Beasley, and ESPN put this up. So this is what it says. It says my mom died when I was playing for the Lakers. My cousin died the game I forgot my shorts in Oklahoma. I was battling that day. I wanted to go to the funeral, but I was already gone when my mom died. I just wanted to be there for the team, and the whole world just laughed at me.
First off, I want to say it's sad that brother had to feel like that. That the whole world
Mhm.
laughed at him. that's one of the things we have to be careful of when we're talking about news and stories in the public eye. You
Mhm.
never get the whole story up front.
No.
And it's two sides to that. I'll give you an example.
All right.
When Sha'Carri Richardson failed her drug test
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't run in the Olympics, a lot of people were like, "Oh, they should let her run. She only did that because her mom passed away. Everybody
Yeah.
handled it differently." My take on it was, I have no qualms and no grievances with her about doing what she did to handle her mother's death. Also,
Mhm.
though, you knew the rules,
Yeah.
so I cannot say don't worry about. I can't throw the rule book out because of your situation.
No, they're
But
separate. It's two separate things.
but I bring this up to say the amount of support she got publicly
Mm-hmm.
when she was dealing with her issue was all positive. It was all,
Yeah.
it's okay, girl. You still a superstar. You still a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Support, support, support. But that was the case when she took the time to come out and speak, and we got both sides of the story. Antonio Brown incident just now.
Yes. Big one. Big one.
We got both sides of that story. But if you listen to the news reporter, he was just some man walking off the field.
Yeah.
Then we come to find out later on, he had an injury, and they wanted him to play on the injury. Now, do I feel like he should have took his uniform off and walked across the field with his shirt off and all of that?
Yeah.
I feel like that was extra. Yeah, I do.
He grandstanded that one.
Yeah, he was grandstanding. But do I understand a person being upset about, I'm telling you, I have an injury. I came out here, tried to play on it. I'm telling you, hey, I can't play on it, brother. I tried, but I can't play on it, coach. And you still want me to play and then threaten my job if I didn't play. So I understand where he come back and says, "Oh, if you're gonna threaten my job, I'll walk off this piece."
Yeah, and he can do that because he ain't got to break no more.
He
ain't got to.
Well, I hope so. I hope he got himself straight where he don't have to play no more. I don't know what his funny situation is.
But I know he got picked up by another team already.
See,
so he already gone. But my thoughts on this whole thing with this gentleman, Michael Beasley. The first thing that I see is that he didn't have control over anything. His mama died. He can't control it.
Right.
He left his shorts and couldn't do nothing. He couldn't control it. Cousin died. He couldn't control it. But the only thing he could control was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Going to play. So everybody, even, I've seen people down him. Again, we telling people how they react to the situation. Their emotions are wrong. They say, oh, well, he shouldn't have been there for the team. He should have went to the funeral or went to this or that. But this situation wasn't about that. It was about him having something to control in a life that was spiraling out of control. Right. And that's the only thing he could have did. That's it. But the whole world laughed at him.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to throw things off, when it's one or two people. When it's millions, that's a whole nother story.
That's another ball away. Well, back to him needing to be in control of something. Mm-hmm. I understand where he's come from. When things are going negatively, sometimes work is the place where you feel the most control. When things are out of control in your personal life, sometimes work is the place where you feel the most control.
Yeah, that's true.
And you gotta, you go where you're most comfortable. I know for me personally, when I went through my divorce, work was the place. That was the most. Work was the constant.
Mm-hmm.
I was moving from house to house. I was figuring out how I wanted to move forward in my life. All that was going crazy. But I knew I could go to work. I knew I had them 8 to 10 hours every day where my top priority wasn't thinking about the craziness going on in my personal life. Mm-hmm. So for him to want to get out on that court and just play the thing that he's been doing his whole life, that he does the best in the world, and amongst the
Yeah.
best to do it in the world because you're playing in the NBA,
Mhm.
makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, he had to do it. I mean, but what's really sad is, how many people call him a bum? How many people call him trash? Um, and while it's not physical damage, emotional damage
Mm-hmm.
is a heavy one, man. That's the wound that no one sees.
Right.
That's the wound that's the hardest to heal.
Yep.
Because you can't put a band-aid on it. You can't bind it up or put medicine on it. It just got to sit there. And that's what we do.
That's it.
But I'm gonna say this, man. And people might say I'm wrong, and this ties into the Sha'Carri Richardson thing. Using vices to deal with your problems don't make them go away.
Nope.
All it does is push it off to the next day.
It's a band-aid.
It just push it off. I'm not even gonna call it a band-aid. If it is, it's like one of them little cloth gauze band-aids that don't last long, because after you finish getting drunk, you got to deal with the hangover, and then you still got to deal with the problem. And I mean, and like we said with Sha'Carri Richardson, she chose to smoke. If that's the whole, I don't believe that's the whole story.
Me neither, but
I don't. There's plenty of evidence for that, but I'm not gonna go into that. But let's say that her position is true. That's what happened. You did that. But after you come down off that high, you still got to deal with it. It does not make the problem become less fierce. It just puts it off to the next day. And then you go smoke again or drink again. It's gonna put it off another day, and then another day. Next thing you know, you're an alcoholic and put off the problem that happened 10 years ago, and it's a decade later and you still ain't dealt with it.
nope.
We got to get some help, man.
Drug use, alcohol, sex,
Yeah, that's big. One.
violence. None of
And
them,
spending money.
and spending money, shopping.
Mhm.
None of those fix the problem.
No, not
None
at
of them
all.
fix the problem. They like you said, they're just a vice. And while I do understand, sometimes you just want to not think about something for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you're right. It does not solve the problem, and you must go back and adjust the problem. Address the problem.
Yeah, you got to address it at some point. You can't keep running from it forever.
Nope.
It's like that. Man, listen to this. I'm gonna tell you the story real fast. And this is what problems are like. So I grew up in the country, right?
Right.
And my granddaddy had these chickens. Well, he had these roosters.
Mm-hmm.
He used to, I ain't gonna lie, I think my granddaddy used to fight roosters. I ain't gonna front, man.
Your granddaddy definitely fought roosters, brother.
He used to fight these roosters. So he had these roosters, right? And every time we came out the house, the roosters would chase us.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'd never forget this day, man. I came out the house, right? And it was Saturday. Saturdays, no school, nothing like that. You go outside, play. I'm come out the house, and the chicken was sitting right there. My dad had this big old van, so the chicken sitting on the passenger side of the van on the ground, waiting for me to come out the house. Now, I was a chunky little boy, so I couldn't run that fast. So needless to say, the chicken started chasing me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm running, I'm huffing fast as I can. And it kept chasing me.
Yeah.
Until the one day I decided to stop and turn around. When I did that, man, that chicken flipped over on his head because he didn't expect me to stop and turn around on him. Now, that's the thing we have to do with our problems by, doing these vices and stuff. We running from the chicken. But you got to stop running at some point and turn around.
Yep.
And it'll stop chasing you.
It sure will.
It'll stop chasing you, man. Man. All right. You got time for another one? I got one that tie into this.
Yeah, let's do one more. Come on.
All right. I got two things. But there's two things now.
All right.
Two things. Let's do this. All right. Jason Wilson. That's the guy who wrote Battle Cry and what's the name of it? Like Why Men Cry, something like that. But he's a powerful brother, man. I want to study his book too. But he said he paused his day to pray for all the married men who are growing weary of trying to be a good man when they always feel like the problem, that even their families would be happy without them. And then I'm going to show you this. Look at this thing. Suicide rates by group. This is the thing people don't know. And this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. So this is a credible source. It's credible. This is real.
Right.
Look at this.
I say 25 to what, 34?
Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. Because if you let me see if I can there we go. All right. Look at this. Females 25 to 44, right? 7.4% suicide rate. Men 20.28%. In every category. Men are 2, 3, and sometimes 4 times more likely to commit suicide versus women, but there are no resources to help our brothers who are falling down. Nobody cares. Everything goes towards them. Everything in every single category. Every single one. Let me scroll down. I'm gonna show you something else. Oh, look at that one. It's by race. Look at the black women, 2.9% suicide rate, but men 12.4. We are almost 4 times more likely to commit suicide than black women.
Over 4 times.
But there are no resources for that. People laugh at us. They tell them they feel it wrong. They tell them things like man up. But 4 times. 4. This is ridiculous. When are we going to be able to get the help everybody else is? I mean, being self-reliant is a good thing.
Yeah.
But when are we going to help one another? I can't stand this. I know those pressures. You know them. But these dudes are just taking themselves out the plan. It's no help. No shelters for men. Nothing. We can't get food.
Nope. You just out here. You just out here. You just gotta. It's a bad situation, but you just out here. You got to make it happen, no matter what. I remember one day, not too long ago, brother I knew. I walked into the subway. I saw the brother, and I could tell by his look he was in a bad way. His clothes were a little looks slightly homeless.
Right.
Maybe he hadn't been home for a few days or something like that. And I really only had about $8 in my pocket. So I really, I'm in Subway. $8 ain't get you nothing but a 6-inch sub.
Yeah.
I just so happened though to have some coupons. $3.49 6-inch sub. Bought myself and that brother a sub that day.
Yeah.
I knew he was messed up. He was in there trying to buy a 3-piece cookie just to have something to eat because he had $2. And he was like, "Man, I'll give you these $2 I got." Like, "Nah, brother, you hold on to them $2.
You're gonna need them later.
You're gonna need them later." But this I ran into that same brother about 3 or 4 months later. That man told me that's the first thing he had eaten in 3 days, and he had bagged up those $2. He said that's the first thing he had eaten. All he had before that was water, because that's what people were giving for free. He had nothing to eat in 3 days.
Man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I mean, we've been blessed to the point where, we have gainful employment, I have a roof over my head. If I want something to eat, if I want to go get some chicken fingers from Zaxby's, I can go over there and do it.
Yep.
My family taken care of. But it's people out there that some through no fault of their own are
Mhm.
homeless.
Yep.
You know, child support is draining. They got to pay all the child support, but they can't afford to eat.
Yep.
You know, it's men out there dealing with that, and they don't know how to get around it. And that's why, you know, all this is connected, man. This mental health, we got to talk to one another. We got to, you know, we got to try. When you see a man struggling, man, I mean, help him or give him some encouraging words. I mean, you know, that go a long way.
Yep.
That go a long way. But this suicide rate thing,
Scary.
it is. And they'll have you believe that young girls are the top of suicide, and they have all types of programs in the school tailored toward that.
Mm-hmm.
They do. I'm there because
Yeah.
I had to teach them. But this is what happens when you are forced to man up all the time. You have to bury it and keep going. This is it,
Absolutely.
man. This is it.
So it just further goes to show the lack of respect given to
Mhm.
men's mental health issues. Like
Yeah.
you just said, there's no men's shelter.
It's one in the entire United States. One.
I don't know what to do with that, Doc. You know,
Me
like I
neither.
said, I'm here. I'm on this platform. I'm trying to make
Yeah.
a avenue for men to have a place to come. Like I
Mhm.
always say, you know, you feel free to comment, like,
Yeah.
you know, go in my inbox. The group is a public group. The page is public. You know,
Yeah.
my page is public. If you need something, if you need somebody to reach out to, I'm
Please
here. I
do.
know it's hard to ask for help,
It is.
and maybe I can't do a whole lot. If all you just like, man, I just need somebody to listen.
That's free. I can do that.
That's free. I could do that. You
Mhm.
know, don't men talking to you men. You know, do not walk around feeling like you by yourself.
Yeah.
Do not walk around feeling like you got no hope. You're not by yourself. You do have hope. There are people out here who care about your mental, physical, financial health.
Mhm.
There's
And
a
that's
lot
why
of
we
brothers
doing what we
even
doing.
besides myself and Doc in this very group
Oh,
that
yeah.
will help and are willing to listen.
Yeah, we got some powerful people in here. Powerful people. And that's
Please
why
use
we're
the
going to
resource,
start.
man. We know you're going through stuff. We know you're struggling because we
Mhm.
have all been there, and some of us still there. I'm still gonna have my rough days. Doc's still gonna
Yeah.
have his rough days. You're
All
not
the
by
time.
yourself.
But listen, man, I know we getting toward the end.
Yeah.
And this was such a good topic that we jumped the gun and we forgot to talk about the magic that happened on Thursday.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and recap that. And then we can be done for the day. So man, tell them what happened on Thursday.
Okay. Chapter 3, Book of
Mm,
Man, conceal your intentions,
yep.
which some people will come off as deception or be deceptive.
Uh-huh.
And I believe we came to the conclusion that none of those things are necessarily bad.
Mhm.
They're merely tactics.
Yeah.
And what you do with those tactics and that knowledge is decides whether or not it was negative or it was good or bad.
That's
So
right.
again, I love this book. I think it's very useful. I think you should it's definitely worth a read or a listen, whatever your preferred method of taking in the information. It's a very good chapter. It brings up one of my favorite characters in the book, Yellow Kid Wow, who is a master con man. So he would have been one of the people that used deception
Yeah.
to get over on people.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, another character, Bismarck,
Yeah.
became the prime minister of Austria. He used it to save his country.
Mhm.
So you tell me if it's good or bad. If one man used it to making some money and steal some money, and one man used it to save his country.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what I got out of it. You don't have to tell everything.
Right.
Control yourself, control your emotions. When I talked about when you go to buy a car.
Right.
And once you tell that salesperson, and once they figure out that you get in, you happy about the car, you want to buy it, oh, they don't have to distract you with anything. They know you in, and they're gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So you got to conceal those emotions.
Yep.
And
they ain't tell you about the discounts, the deals, and nothing.
Oh, nah, you don't get none of that. Matter of fact, when you get in the drive it, they're gonna turn the radio up and be like, "Oh man, that sounds good," and then they're gonna turn the air on. That feel nice, but don't pay attention to none of that. None of that. Don't fall for it. Because, as a matter of fact, this is what I say. When you are emotional, when you are in an emotional state, whether it's happy, sad, mad, in love, any of that stuff, it clouds your judgment.
Absolutely.
It does. It don't matter. Even if it clouds your judgment. So you got to be in control of yourself at all times. Because that's what we got to do. But y'all go back. Y'all got to watch the replay of that one.
Listen,
that was a good one.
Y'all gonna find out some stuff about your boy Doc now. Don't hold him. Don't hold him too harsh. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all gonna find out how you feel about your timeshares.
Don't
timeshare salesman. Again, these are the opinions of Doc, and not necessarily opinions of the Booker Man broadcast. The hosts have their own individual opinions on something.
You ain't got to tell people all that. I got an image to maintain.
I mean, you said it, brother. I didn't say it for you. You said what you said. You know, I'm just trying to make sure the show is covered. You know.
Oh Lord,
they take up their issues with Doc, not the show, not the program.
Boy, you know what? I guess we ain't never going nowhere together, ever. Man, damn, I'm the bad one. I'm the bad one, y'all. It's me. I ain't gonna lie.
It's said that, sir. Nobody said you was the bad one. I just want you to feel and be responsible for your own action. I don't want you to feel pressure that you're responsible for representing for all of us. I just want you to know and understand you representing for yourself. That's it.
Look, hey, fellas, go back and watch the clip. Matter of fact, I might end up chopping it up and putting it up here so y'all can see it. But until then, go back and watch the live stream, 48 Laws of Power, law number 3. Look at what I said, and you tell me if I'm right or am I wrong. Tell me that. Because I'm right, man. Y'all feel the same way. You know it. You know you do.
I am not saying Doc is right or wrong. I'm simply saying the views and opinions expressed by the individuals on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the show or the program, The Book of Man. And, you know, that's all I'm saying. Lord. And we reserve our right to employ whom we wish. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Legally, we covered.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying about that. You know, America. We love y'all. Yeah. Whatever your profession, we love you. That's what I'm saying. Booker Man loves you. You know, Westgate, Blue Green, Hilton, Marriott, all y'all great people out there working for these organizations. We love you. Lord. Over here, Booker Man, we love you.
Well, if we're trying to get sponsorships, I just messed that up. I just messed that up.
Yeah, we out of that game. We out of that
I had to retract the statement.
We out of that. That's we lost that one. You're never gonna get that.
Oh boy.
We'll never see a timeshare commercial on here. I'll tell you that right now. I tried to save him.
Oh.
You just kept digging that hole. You just kept digging. But that's all right, Doc. I still love you, brother. Yeah. You know, I'm still with you.
We there. Anyway, man. So, all right, man. You gonna take us out of here?
Yeah. Oh, people, hey, we'll be back Thursday again for another chapter of the book study. We'll be on chapter 4 and 5. Continuing to go deep dive into this book. If you haven't started reading it yet, please go out and get the Book of Man. The Book of Man. Please go out and get 48 Laws of Power. It's a powerful, powerful book, a wonderful tool for us as men to be able to use and execute, and give us all a chance to talk about some of the points and views and ideas in it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Got a lot of videos up there from before, now, as we move forward. Instagram, follow us on Instagram. Follow Doc, J Sims Online. Join the group. If you're not on the group, Booker Man, join the Booker Man group. Send us a request, an invite. If we haven't already sent you one or answered the invite, we sent you, and we want to hear from you. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning, giving us a little bit of your time, or whenever you stream this. We appreciate you. What you want to close out something, Doc?
No, man, we pretty much said it all, man. It was a good stream today. Definitely, if you're watching, you want to catch the live stream, we want to get more of y'all on here to talk with us. Just put your ideas out there. So we're working on that. And other than that, show us some support. Go ahead to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Eventually, we're going to start putting up content over there that you can't find anywhere else. So you want to go ahead and be a part of that. And we looking to network with y'all. So if you do something, let us know in the group. We can send you some business. We want to kind of support one another. Stuff like credit, insurance. We got coaches in the group, people who know how to write books. If you want to write a book, we got you.
Speaking of coaches, Coach Reese, I'm gonna call you this week, man. I got to get my son into a football program up here. I want your recommendation.
There we go. All right, y'all.
All right.
Booker Man.
Booker Man, thank you for joining us. We love y'all. Have a great week. Do not let up on those goals. We love you. We out.
Later.